So a while back I made a video about RMT cheating and fighting it. So it's only fitting I talk about the Theamine situation right now because it's basically littered with all of that. Now in this video I will be referencing situations where there were bad actors or alleged bad actors. Who they are is a little less important than what has happened. While it might play a role into it, I've decided to leave their names absent from it along with any screenshots. If you know about the situations, you know the details. If you don't, Reddit exists. The most important takeaway is the message of all this that's going on. To start off, I really want to explain the idiom of sowing the seed of doubt. The dictionary definition is to cause someone to have doubts, worries, concerns about something, to introduce someone to a doubtful or worrisome idea. So now let's apply that to our current situation, as it is a very important part of this entire topic. Lost Ark has been around for over 2 years now. In all that time leading up to even today, we can still see people who are cheating, botting, RMT, and piloting. And there have been things like bot ban waves, but it's clearly not enough and it doesn't cover everything. Because chances are, if you go to South Vern on any server and you go to their fishing spot, you're probably going to see it infested with bots. I see 40 plus channels sometimes. And when it comes to the conversations of players who have gotten actions taken against them for RMT or cheating, the stories around these that go around the community is that these people got like a 3-day ban on the wrist, maybe 7 days. If you RMT'd, you generally got to keep most of your gold, which is all word of mouth since AGS doesn't talk about these things. Besides their so-called bot busters. All of this results in AGS sowing their own seed of doubt, giving their player base the idea that they are unable to uphold the integrity of the gaming community, as bad actors can get away with pretty much anything, and even if they do get caught, it's like a slap on the wrist. So with the release of Theamine, they also had a race to clear the hardest difficulty called the First. In the rules, they outright said that accounts are going to be checked for legitimacy. So logically, you'd think that cheaters wouldn't attend to this, they wouldn't do this, because they're basically walking into jail saying, hey, I did it. So yeah, every team that was in the week 1 clears, yeah, they had cheaters. They all got disqualified and a lot of them got hit with negative gold. So why do it? Why would a cheater want to do this? My assumption is because the track record that Amazon has for actually punishing people is not good. As we discussed earlier with a seed of doubt, it was a low risk, high clout reward situation. As players like this really want people to believe that they're legitimate or just really good at the game because egos and clout. So this was them attempting to call out AGS's bluff that they wouldn't do it because they haven't been doing it. And yeah, now they just look like clowns. This really started to look like we're getting the good ending, that AGS was finally stepping up and doing something against bad actors. It was starting to give a lot of people a lot of hope, and you could really see that in people's sentiment on things like Reddit. So something interesting and something that's going to play a more important role later is that pretty much every punishment that we've seen screenshots and conversations about has been about RMT. They've gotten their gold taken away, they've gotten their Est weapon taken away in some situations, and then they get put into the negative gold. So when they're negative gold, that means they had to earn all their gold and earn that all back through in-game systems. They can't just like liquidate a character or all their gems or anything like that because they need gold to put things up on the auction house. Now, as a company who, loves money, this does make sense. As opposed to banning them, you are giving these people the opportunity to buy themselves out of debt. Through, of course, legitimately buying gold this time around. Now, bad news for Amazon is my friend's cousin's girlfriend dog told me that somebody who was down 50 million gold in debt simply just bought a new account instead. Which I've heard stories about this person too, and this is apparently their 3rd account. In the story, I was told this person got a permaban finally after 5 RMT bans, which led them to buying the 2nd account, and then they just abandoned the 2nd account because they just didn't really feel like buying off all that gold again. And the truth is, they're probably going to RMT again, because the idea is now that people who went for Theamine are the people who get checked out and looked into. So if you lay low, you might not get caught, is probably what a lot of these people are thinking. So with literally hundreds of millions of gold just deleted out of the game, it really just feels like a lost opportunity for AGS. Now that they've really seen how much people RMT, it should really show that there is a gigantic market for people who want to pay to win this game. However, their prices for the things in the shop are just overall extortion. People want to pay, but they don't want to pay that much. So in my opinion, they should take this as an opportunity to reevaluate the shop and the value of things that they have up there. I've talked about this before and I'm going to say it again. If you give things to the shop a better value, if you give people either reduced cost or you get more for the price, you're going to gain the interest of these RM tiers to maybe go legit, and even newer players who maybe haven't really spent on anything, they might consider buying things now. And since people would be getting their materials from the shop, there's going to be less demand in the marketplace, which is going to also devalue gold in general, which that is important because that will then devalue RMT gold, which ultimately affects the bottom line of people who sell gold. You can never truly get rid of RMT and bad actors really, but you can really try to mitigate it and reduce it as much as you can. And I think these are the steps needed for RMT, which is silly as it's really just, hey, make people actually want to buy from you. So initially, this is where the video was going to end. AGS was finally starting to take action against people and everybody was happy about it. Good ending. But then we got a clear that made it to the board, which means it passed their checks. So initially it's like, hey, these people must be legitimate because they passed the checks. But why are people on Twitter and Reddit pissed? Well, it turns out there's some allegations going on, along with screenshots that go with them. There are many claims and allegations going on here, so let's just go through them real quick. At least one of them, chaos bots. If these screenshots are legit, because again, this is all alleged, they reside in a botting Discord. Other allegations are that they were banned before and they were able to get unbanned by contacting Amazon in India, which is kind of weird, but another allegation is that they pilot. So the message a lot of people are getting from this situation is this. You can cheat. You can buy and sell piloting services. You want a bot? Sure, why not? However, if you give your money to anybody else for gold or materials, we're going to find you and we're going to get you. Because again, if these allegations are true, that means these people might have done everything under the sun besides RMT. And because they didn't RMT, they didn't get caught. Because the main part of their check, I'm like 99% sure, was them just checking through your gold transaction history. So this sets the precedence that they don't care about the integrity of the gamer community. They only care about their bottom line. Which of course, pretty much everybody you watching this right now is probably like, yeah, duh. Which is because AGS has set the bar so low already to this point. So while on that topic, I guess I should address another piloting situation. So there is a streamer, a partnered streamer, you probably know who I'm talking about, who is alleged to buy a piloting service. There has been a lot of screenshots about this. A known streamer not streaming is already kind of a bit of a red flag, but also they didn't leave their guild before doing name changes, which their name changed to a very popular pilot's name. People saw in their guild logs that they did this. And after the deed was done, they tried to hide it, but then the title was showing, so they had to talk about it. It got to the point where they tried to prove the allegations wrong to the point that they gave screenshots. The problem is that the screenshot was fake. It had a buff that should not exist in hell mode because it's a pet buff, but you don't get any stats from your pets in hell mode. All your stats come from the Book of Coordination. It was a fake screenshot, and if somebody didn't have the seed of doubt of this person before that, they definitely had it now. To make matters worse, when they came back a few weeks later, they got a G2G notification sound during the stream and they tried to play it off with ignorance. Well, actually they straight up tried to ignore it and just change the subject. They waited weeks to address this, and the excuse was that they were buying an account for another game. True or not, multiple points make a line, and they lied before multiple times, so what's there to think that they wouldn't RMT or do anything on G2G for Lost Ark if they've already clearly bought piloting services? This is a prime example of how the seed of doubt really creates a slippery slope where it's really hard to redeem yourself, as this person has become a ongoing meme to pretty much the entire rest of the community. But even worse is now there is another seed of doubt in the community that, hey, there are people who are untouchable. There are people who can get away with doing whatever they want because they're a partnered streamer. Which again, this is all alleged, but when your evidence is to show that you're legit by showing off fake screenshots, it's kind of hard to redeem yourself at that point. So, to AGS, if you want to protect or more accurately regain the integrity of Lost Ark and just better your overall reputation among the community, there needs to be proof. There needs to be clear as day proof that you guys are actually doing something about it. The truth is, I know you guys are working behind the scenes. I know things are being done. I know bad actors and some bots are being taken care of. But the truth is, it's not enough and it's not well known. The reason why people had such a good reception to what was going on with Theamine is because there was no hiding these people who cheated, who tried to go through a Theamine race. It helps shows that you guys are being serious about this. An example I've used in the past, I'm going to use again, is Naraka Bladepoint. They have a ban list of planned players that they do every week. Names aren't completely exposed, but they're just showing that they did take actions. And people who do report people that were rightfully banned do get rewarded for it. And I want to make this clear. This is not a call for permabans. This is a call for just punishment for bad actors. This is keeping people honest. And I know this is a very uphill battle for AGS to do this. When your first line of defense is easy anti-cheat, I mean, it's going to be a rough time. But the player base needs to see that there is progress. There is something being done, that people aren't just getting away with all this. But also you should realize that people RMT because the prices and demands that you guys have are just so egregious. I want to finish out the video saying this. I love Lost Ark. This is a great game. The raids and raiding experience is second to none. However, I do not believe that just because you like something, that it should be free of criticism. You can enjoy something and still want improvement out of it. You can enjoy something and still dislike things about it. It is my personal belief that if you try to hold everything back and just sound like a shill, you're doing more harm than good. Because if you hopelessly shill and just glaze saying everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, you're going to actually start to believe it. And also they're going to start to believe it. Meaning nothing will change and you're just dooming it. How I've been overall handling my channel so far is I like to talk about the pros and cons while also trying to spread how I see and view things as somebody who has spent many years in the game industry. All on the publishing side, by the way, which is where AGS is. But I hope to spark conversation. I hope to get the ball rolling. I hope to get people talking about this kind of stuff. I want to believe that things can always change for the better. And with that being said, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I would really appreciate a like and sub. Let me know in the comments what you think of this entire situation.